Paralyzed man moves in mind-reading exoskeleton. A man has been able to move all 4 of his paralyzed limbs with a mind-controlled exoskeleton suit, French researchers report. Thibault, 30, said taking his first steps in the suit felt like being the first man on the moon. His movements, particularly walking, are far from perfect, and the robo-suit is being used only in the lab. But researchers say the approach could one day improve patients' quality of life. Thibault had surgery to place 2 implants on the surface of the brain, covering the parts of the brain that control movement. 64 electrodes on each implant read the brain activity and beam the instructions to a nearby computer. Sophisticated computer software reads the brainwaves and turns them into instructions for controlling the exoskeleton. Thibault has to be strapped into the exoskeleton. When Thibault thinks walk, it sets off a chain of instructions to move his legs. And he can control each of the arms, maneuvering them in 3-dimensional space. Thibault, who does not want his surname revealed, was an optician before he fell 15 meters in an incident at a nightclub 4 years ago. The injury to his spinal cord left him paralyzed and he spent the next 2 years in hospital. But in 2017, he took part in the exoskeleton trial with Clinatec and the University of Grenoble. Initially, he practiced using the brain implants to control a virtual character, or avatar, in a computer game, then he moved on to walking in the suit. It was like being the first man on the moon. I didn't walk for 2 years. I forgot what it is to stand. I forgot I was taller than a lot of people in the room, he said. It took a lot longer to learn how to control the arms. It was very difficult because it is a combination of multiple muscles and movements. This is the most impressive thing with the exoskeleton. The French scientists say they can continue to refine the technology. At the moment, they are limited by the amount of data they can read from the brain, send to a computer, interpret and send to the exoskeleton in real time. They have 350 milliseconds to go from thought to movement, otherwise the system becomes difficult to control. It means out of the 64 electrodes on each implant, the researchers are using only 32. So there is still the potential to read the brain in more detail using more powders and AI to interpret the information from the brain. There are also plans to develop finger control to allow Thibault to pick up and move objects. He has already used the implant to control a wheelchair.